Years ago, a millionaire gave me a piece of advice that changed everything for me. He said, "You don't need to invent something brand new. You just need to spot what's already working and make it your own." From that day, I stopped trying to dream up the next big idea and started studying what successful people were actually doing. That single shift is what turned my side hustles into multi-million-dollar businesses. So today, I'm going to show you 7 real examples of young people making over $100,000 a year from their side hustles, so you can copy their exact playbook. The first side hustle is reselling on online marketplaces. A young man went from working a dead-end job with almost nothing going for him to turning $400 into over $300,000 in a single year through reselling. A lot of people assume marketplaces like eBay are dying because everyone talks about Amazon instead, but that's simply not true. Revenue on these platforms is actually growing every year, especially in niche categories where big retailers don't compete well. Things like collectibles, vintage items, trading cards, and hard-to-find products. Loyal buyers in these niches will choose a specialist marketplace every time over a generic giant retailer. The best way to start is by selling things you already own around your house. This costs nothing, builds up your account history and positive feedback, and gives you the fast cash you need to start buying proper stock. It won't make you rich overnight, but it's one of the easiest side hustles to start with almost zero money and zero experience. The second side hustle is brand deal flipping, which means connecting influencers with companies who want to work with them and taking a cut for making the introduction. One young entrepreneur started this from a hospital bed while dealing with a serious illness as a teenager, with no industry connections at all. Just a few years later, he was generating millions of dollars a year working with major global brands and huge online creators. The opportunity here keeps growing because more people are watching online video content than traditional television, and brands know it, so they're pouring money into online creators. The reason this works as a side hustle is the same reason huge companies like ride-sharing apps or delivery apps work. They simply connect two sides of a deal and take a cut for the convenience. To succeed, you need to understand both worlds, the creators and the brands, and build relationships with both. If you can bring together just a handful of brands and creators, taking a percentage of each deal, the numbers add up fast, since even a modest number of partnerships can generate a healthy 5-figure income every single month. The third side hustle is video editing. One student sitting in his dorm room, staring at growing student debt, decided to pick up his laptop and simply teach himself how to edit video. That single decision eventually earned him more than his degree ever would have, working with some of the biggest brands and creators in the world. Video content now makes up the overwhelming majority of all traffic on the internet, so companies desperately need people who can turn raw footage into something people actually want to watch. A common worry is that artificial intelligence will replace editors, but real editing requires understanding emotion, timing, and storytelling. Things a machine can imitate but never truly create. You don't need expensive equipment to start, just a decent laptop and a willingness to learn the basics, cutting, pacing, and adding music. Start with smaller clients, build a strong portfolio, and the higher-paying work will follow naturally. The fourth side hustle is branded dropshipping. One young man with no money, no connections, and no experience started this and now regularly earns around $40,000 a month in profit. This is different from old-school dropshipping, where you sell a cheap item for a small markup and barely survive refunds and advertising costs. Branded dropshipping instead focuses on building an actual brand around a product, a proper website, real positioning, and customer trust. Instead of competing purely on price, you're selling something people believe in, which means bigger profit margins and fewer refunds. It typically takes a few months to build real traction, since you need time to test what works, gather data, and then scale what's succeeding. The good news is you barely need any starting capital, since you only pay suppliers after a customer has already paid you. The fifth side hustle is brand identity design. One young designer grew up with very little money, ended up stuck in a job he hated, and eventually locked himself away for 6 months to study everything he could about design. 6 months later, he went from having no savings at all to earning $20,000 in a single month. Brand identity means designing the entire visual world of a business, the logo, colors, fonts, and overall look that makes a company instantly recognizable. While plenty of designers charge small amounts for a basic logo, very few offer a complete professional brand package, which is exactly why this niche has become so valuable, with the global market for brand design worth billions of dollars and still growing quickly. All you need to start is a laptop and design software, making it a great option if you don't have much money to invest but are willing to put in the time to learn. The sixth side hustle is short-form content strategy. One ordinary student started paying close attention to what made videos go viral instead of just scrolling past them, studying hooks, captions, and pacing until he understood the formula. He tested what he learned and it worked, eventually earning him over $100,000 before he even turned 18, using nothing but his phone. Short attention spans have become extremely valuable, since people now spend a huge amount of time each day on short video apps. Your job as a strategist isn't to be the person on camera. It's to help businesses that have no idea how to market themselves, like a local gym or a small shop, turn their content into something people actually watch. You can learn the basics in just a few days, and the real skill comes from noticing patterns most people completely miss. Charging a flat fee plus a bonus for videos that go viral is a smart way to align your incentives with your client's success. The seventh and final side hustle is investing itself. This might not sound as exciting as starting a business, but it's the one side hustle that works quietly in the background, no matter what else you're doing. There has genuinely never been a better time to start, since you used to need a broker and a large deposit just to buy one single stock, and now you can start with just a few taps on your phone. Getting started with something like an index fund is simple, but if you want to pick individual stocks, you'll need to actually learn how to analyze companies properly, which takes real time and effort. Most modern investing apps let you begin with as little as $1 thanks to fractional shares, so a lack of money is no longer a valid excuse. It can take years before this becomes a serious source of income, but once it does, it's the closest thing to truly passive income that exists, since it doesn't require you to keep showing up and doing the work. So there you have it, 7 proven paths that real young people have used to build six-figure incomes. You don't need to invent something new, you just need to pick one of these, commit to learning it properly, and actually start. If you enjoy videos like this and want to see more fascinating topics, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications.